Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017 and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. So we are in our barn and this is from the end of the last episode. These are our straw bales. We're making some progress. There's our little Kramer. We're making progress and some things are going really, really well. Some other things are not going really well. I just recorded an episode and midway through I started getting massive lag spikes. I don't know the cause of it. I think I do. And I think I've isolated it. So what we're going to do is try to record another episode. If this one comes out well, we're just going to pick up from here and pretend that other one didn't happen. If this one doesn't work out, we're going to do just the opposite and post that other one and then pretend this one never happened. So, end of our last episode, we were mowing and baling this field, making silage bales. I didn't know how many I'd get. We got 101. We already had 30, which are down on the end. Those are already silage. These are all, they're not fermented yet. They're just wrapped grass, but they will be silage. We have, what is that, 130 bales at 2,000 pounds a piece, 2,000 euro a piece, so 260 right there. We're going to do okay. We also brought the Big M out, previous episode, the one that may never see the light of day, but we brought Big M out and we mowed this field. And now we have our tedder behind one of our 1455s. This 1455 was on a tipper over at the Barley field. It's now over here, and we got a new tractor that's on that tipper. So we're going to put this on course play. Everything going good? Everything's going good. Okay, the reason I did that is this tedder can be a little particular with like save games. So I think it's working okay. In fact, you know what? Before we get any further ahead, let me confirm that it's working okay, because what will happen is if you leave it hooked up during a save game, it can sometimes not work properly. So we're unfolding okay. Make sure we're working. And then we lower. We're making hay. We're making hay. Beautiful. So we're going to put this thing on course play. That's not course play. That's course play. We're going to do field work. Is that right? We're going to do field work in field 44. Field 44. Auto width. Good to go there. Start here. 2 headlands at the end. Generate a course. Where's our starting point? It is right over here. So we're going to get this going, making hay. We're going to go tend to our straw pellet maker, which is in the barley field. We're also going to dump the last of our barley out of the elevator, out of the silo, and sell it. And as you can see, we're doing okay on money. I did have to take out a loan for that new tractor, but we're still doing okay on money. Right. Start at first waypoint. Stop when you're done. And speed is okay. Yeah, speed is okay. Okay, let's see how this guy does. Unfolding. Unfolding. Beautiful. There he goes, making hay. Oh, that's a nice animation. Yeah, that looks really nice. Wow. Okay. Good on you, Tedder. All right, so let's get up here and let's get our straw pellet maker emptied. We've got, I want to say we've got about 35,000 liters so far, and we should get another, hopefully another 35,000. And that's going to be, when we sell it, probably another 100 grand. So, yep, we've got a ton of debt, but we're going to be able to get rid of a lot of it in this episode. And I'm super excited about that. So yeah, we harvested the rest of this barley, which was honestly more or less like the first half. And we left our rows. Now what I did was I put the combine harvester on course play. And then when we put the pellet maker on the same course play, right, it goes to the center line, which is where the combine harvester dropped its row, I guess, its straw row. And that's letting the pellet maker just go straight through and pick up everything that the combine harvester left. Which we've returned, by the way. We returned the combine harvester, we returned the header, we returned the tipper that we had behind our 2-axle truck, and we returned our chaser cart. Is that filling? That is filling. Okay. So we're going to hop out of there, and we're going to hop in here. So this should still have a course in it, and it does. Fantastic. So when this is empty, we're just going to tell it to continue, and it's got enough molasses and enough water, so it'll just keep making pellets. Perfect. So we're sort of at the end of the row though, so I hope this works okay. It does not. Ah, stop. That's what I was worried about. Ah! Yeah, it's so close to the end of the row that it got sort of confused where the next waypoint was. Okay, so we'll get it started manually. Jeez, Quadtrack. There you go. Shift up, buddy. So now, once we get it sort of established here, right? Now we can tell it. Go from there. Cool. So he's working. And now we're going to come over here. This is our new tractor, by the way. And I'm super happy about this. I had a 1455 on here, and I realized, you know what? It's not going to be enough to pull this thing when it's full, and we needed a smaller tractor to pull our tedder. I'm firmly in the camp that says you use the smallest piece of equipment that you can for any given task, because the smaller a piece of equipment is, generally, the cheaper it is to maintain. So you want to put your hours on your less expensive equipment. This thing has great sound too. Listen to that. That is fantastic. So we're going to take this over and get the last of our barley out of the silo, and then take it to the sell point. And by then, hopefully the tedder will have made some progress. The pellet maker will need to be emptied again. And we'll do a little banking too. We're gonna pay down our loan. So then we'll bring this back, we'll park it up, and we'll get our rake and our baler ready for making hay bales. So you saw we had our straw bales from last episode. We have those in the barn. And we're going to put hay bales in the barn as well. And then any extra that won't fit in the barn we're going to sell. But we're getting ready for our dairy operation. We want to have everything teed up so when we buy our cows, we have plenty to feed them with. And we don't need to... We've got our Coda Universal on the back of the 2-axle farm truck, so we're okay for a way to get water to our cows, so we don't need to buy a standalone tanker, although we may at some point, but we don't need to yet. So let's take this over here and take the last of our barley out of the silo. All right. Perfect. So we'll go sell this. We got $75,000 for the barley that we've already sold from the field, and then this is the last of it. So we should get another $15,000 for this. So that'll be $90,000 we got out of that field, just in barley, plus another $100,000 for the pellets. Those bales out on the highway are worth $250, and we still have our sunflowers and our sugar beets. So we're going to be profitable before the end of our first season, and I'm super happy about that. We're going to be profitable even though I bought a lot of equipment that I probably didn't have to buy. So, like, this thing was $250,000. You know, did we really need it? Could we have made do with what we have? Yeah, absolutely we could have. But you know what? It's a game, and let's have some fun with it. Without being unrealistic, without just being silly. Let's have some fun with it and enjoy playing at farming. So, around the corner here. And what else is going on? Yep, we're going to need to rent a combine harvester again for our sunflowers over here. But I think renting makes the most sense because we really don't use it very long. When we own all these other fields, then it will make sense to own one or possibly even two. But for now, we can get by with one, and we can get by with renting. I think it makes a lot more sense rather than having all that money tied up. And that's the same reason I sold the Big M too. In the future, we'll rent the Big M because we don't need to own it. It goes by quickly enough. Things like tractors and tippers, yeah, we need to own those because we use those all the time. But for things that we only use, right, like our sugar beet harvester, we're going to rent that because we're only going to use it for a morning. And I understand in real life we would use it for longer than a morning. We might use it for a couple of weeks on the farm. But even so, we still might lease it or contract it. You know, a lot of farms rent equipment. It's an efficient way to get things done without having a lot of money tied up in equipment. So we'll see. But like the man says, ultimately, it's only a game and nobody cares. Let's just have some fun. So we'll get this sold. And I'll do it off camera, but I've still got a little bit of spilled canola over here at the sell point. And I really need to, oh, this thing is awkward. I really need to get it sold. Yeah, love the sound on this tractor. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, that canola, I need to come out here with a bucket and get that cleaned up. Because it's not, I don't think crops rot. I think if that stays there, it'll just stay there forever. Alright, and I'm going to drop this thing before it clips through the roof. So we got 8,000, 7,000, 8, 7, and 2. So 8 and 7 would be 15, and 2 would be 17. So yeah, we got 17,000 pounds, 292,000 pounds. I'm going to pay down 200,000 in debt, and we still have. Can I fit through here? It'd be nice if I could. Barely squeak through. It'd be nice if we could be at zero debt. But at the very least, we're going to pay off several 100,000 pounds in debt, and that is always nice. So, get this thing back to the farm and parked up. And the other big tipper that we had on our 2-axle truck, yeah, like I said, that was rented as well. That's been returned, and I think the sunflowers, man, that field has a pretty steep slope to it, and sunflower is heavy. It's very dense, so I really want to be careful as we get in there to harvest. No lag spike. No lag spike. I really want to be careful that we don't end up with this thing essentially stuck down at the bottom of a hill and no way to get it up the hill. Now, it does have this weight on the front. I don't know how I feel about that weight. It's a silage weight, and it's a counterpart to another weight that actually goes on the back of a tractor and has a boom with a hook on it. So you can chain two tractors together and drive them back and forth on a clamp for compacting silage. I threw it on there because it's a little bit different but I also don't know how I feel about it sort of blocking the airflow to the radiator in real life. Obviously, these tractors don't overheat in-game, but you know what I mean. Try to play as realistically as possible without being silly. Although, rumor is I am kind of silly, but I'm okay with that. So, I don't know if our tedder is going to be done with this field before the end of the episode. I would like to get our rake out and have that sort of starting to work before the end of the episode. Make some bales. Alright, I'm going to pull this up right here. I'm tempted to get the roller out and make this area kind of an extended gravel sort of parking area. You know what I mean? I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, we're going to pull this forward, set the brake, but we're not going to turn it off because we want it to cool down a little bit. And I saw that in a YouTube video, and ever since I saw it, I'm like, oh, that is so cool. I'm going to do that all the time. Not turn equipment off when it's super hot. And I'm looking here. It looks like 65% for straw pellets, and this guy's still working away. So let's go empty our pellet maker again. And I also need to remember, if we do rent the Big M next year, when I put it on course play, I set the width automatically, and clearly that is not accurate. So in the future, we'll need to correct that manually so we don't have these gaps. It's not a ton, and like that other field, you know, we got 101 silage bales out of it. So it's not the end of the world, but why throw away money? You know, money's money. And I think, all right, making progress there. I think, man, if we could fill our farm truck, front and rear, with straw pellets, that would be awesome. Oh, you know what? I said I was going to do this, and then I didn't. Let's go over to our loan, and let's repay $200,000. Let's pay it till we have $50,000. So we owe $280 now. So we just halved our loan. That always feels good. And when we sell these straw pellets, we'll be able to take hopefully another $100,000 off there, and that'll take us down to $180, which is pretty manageable. We could get out of debt then by selling one tractor, and that's a good place to be, particularly before the end of our first season. That's a great place to be. All right, so we'll hop on our farm truck. Man, what a good-looking farm this is. BulletBill, kudos to you, sir. This is just gorgeous. Feels like summer when you're on this map. I can't wait to see what autumn looks like. I guess it's early autumn, but it still feels like summer. You know what I mean. But I'm really curious what it looks like when we're in winter, and it really feels like the first map that I saw that really gave me that feeling was Colbert Park, when it was converted over for seasons. And you start obviously in spring, late winter, early spring. It's like the first day of spring is the last day of winter. And just the textures and the foliage, and even the way the ground looks in late winter, early spring, when everything is gray and the snow first sort of melts, and you can see like leftover leaves on the ground from the previous autumn that haven't rotted, but they're sort of flat and really dead looking. He somehow captured that. If you have access to Colbert Park, the map, the seasons version, fire it up and look at the way the map looks. Look at the way the world looks when you first launched that map with seasons on the first day of spring. And it is, I think that's the first time a farm simulator map really got me, really hit me like, wow, man, this is immersive, this is compelling, like this is This feels real. It really resonated with me. And this one feels the same way. It's like you can almost feel the weather when you look around this map, the way that it's put together. So, park this guy. And I think that'll be the last time we have to empty, and then from here we're going to take the quad track back to the farm and park up the pellet maker and park up the quad track. Let's see how our 1455 is doing with our tedder. And is there anything else out here? No, we've got the farm track and the quad track. Farm truck, quad track. Okay. Let's see how our tedder's doing. Tedder is making progress. It sure is. I think we're going to be able to put our rake on course play before the end of this episode, and then we'll have our baler following along right behind it, so we may get to see a few bales come out this episode. Yeah, I think we will. He's got a couple more lengths, and then he's going to do headlands. You know what? We've got a 1455 available. I was gonna put that new Optum on our rake, and then I didn't because I thought that's overkill. You don't need a tractor that big on a rake, but we've got our other 1455 parked up in the little shed over here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get this one going. Man, not teleporting. Realistic, but slow. All right. Here's our 1455, our other 1455. And before I forget, how's this thing doing? Does not need maintenance. Fantastic. Break off. And lift the pallet fork up a little bit. So I can then lift it up a lot. That part. Right. A lot of front loaders, you can drop the tool down till it's 90 degrees. That's that angle that the forks are on right there, that's as low as that goes. I would like to see those a little bit more vertical. But so it goes. Where's our rake? Here it is. Oh, you know what? I just looked over there. We do have a water tank. We do have a Bowser. Man, see, I have equipment I don't even know that I have. If I had not seen that, it's entirely possible that at some point I would buy one to take care of our animals, even though we already have one. Oh, what a dope I can be. A moment, please. I gotta check a text. Right. So I don't think got a ways to go here. I don't think our tedder is going to be done. And when I rake, I do the headlands first, so that the baler can go around and get the bales on the outside, and then I pick those up, and then we can do our lengths without either tripping over bales or driving over hay, basically. Because if we do our lengths first, then every time the tractor makes a turn, it's going to be driving through our hay. So if we do the headlands first, it solves both those problems. but I can't start our rake now because our tedder's not done with the headlands. So let's empty our pellet maker one more time, and then I think we'll call it an episode because we're just kind of covering the same ground at this point. We're still doing stuff, but what I'll do is, because our sugar beets aren't ready yet to be harvested, what I'll do then is next episode we'll make those bales and probably take the straw pellets down to sell. Maybe. I don't know. And you know I'm always making this up as I go. I have a general plan, but I sort of don't know what I'm doing. But it's always worked for me. More or less. All right. And that's problematic. Our pellet maker is not in a row. He's just driving around a field. Okay, cool. Let me empty this thing and then we'll call it an episode because he ain't even doing nothing. I'll finish this last row manually. So let's get this guy emptied. We'll call it. One more. A little bit more. Left. There it goes. Cool. All right. Back here without getting run over. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017 from Lone Oak Farm. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.